even as we enjoy this interview with Ishmael Yartey. Ishmael Yartey, if you can hear me, hello. How are you doing, sir?
Hello, I'm doing good by His grace. I hope you're also fine.
Yeah, I'm also fine. It's been a while we heard from you.
Yeah, our job as as we take on our career, we have opportunities to play for different clubs. So when we have deals that comes, we analyze and then we decide to take a step and then experience different cultures. So yeah, I've been around. I've been concentrating on my club
Mm.
career. So I know ahead because the countries that I've been playing in lately are not countries that most Ghanaians follow their team. So it's
Mm.
only normal that people have heard from me in a while.
Okay. Ishmael, I know you are fasting, and how is the fasting going in Saudi Arabia? Which city in Saudi Arabia are you in?
Okay, I'm in the city of Jazan
Jeddah. Okay.
currently. And then yeah, the fasting so far so good. We are left with 4 days. So yeah, it's a Muslim country, so everything here is been good so far.
And how has COVID-19 affected staff in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia?
As it has is that this disease has affected a lot of countries worldwide. It's the same here. We stopped playing mid March, and then everything was totally shut down. But because of the Ramadan, now you have shops that are open until 5 p.m. And then after 5 p.m., everybody needs to be indoors. So since mid March, everything hasn't been normal, and we are just praying and hoping that we will get back to our normal lives
Mm.
soon.
Okay. How long have you been in Saudi Arabia, and which clubs have you played for in Saudi Arabia, or this is the first club you are playing for in Saudi Arabia?
Well, I was playing in Finland last season, and then this winter transfer, I had this the proposal from Saudi Arabia, and then well, I've played all this while in Europe, so I decided to take on this challenge and then experience the league here. So I signed here in the end of January, and so far everything was going on well. I played 5 games, I scored 3 goals, so it was going good. I was enjoying myself until Corona came in, so we don't know if we're going to continue the league or we're going to start a new season. But there are rumors that football will come back only in August.
But the Bundesliga, they are back and they are playing. I don't know if you followed the Bundesliga. What do you make of the new normal now, playing football without fans, observing social distancing? Even when you score, you cannot celebrate. How do you make of all those things?
Yeah, the Bundesliga came back on Saturday. I had a chance to see few games. from Bundesliga 2, and also from Bundesliga 2, I had the chance to see the game of David Atanga, and then I also watched Borussia Dortmund's game, and then I watched Mönchengladbach, and yesterday I watched Bayern Munich. It's strange though. Football is made for the fans, and watching these games without fans, it's a bit strange because it almost seems like preseason games, you know.
Mm.
But then for us that we love football, we are cool because football hasn't been on TV, and some of us we only watch TV when there is football on TV. So at least we are glad that Bundesliga is back, and then we can now watch TV, even though it doesn't feel the same without the fans.
Okay. Now let us also look at, you've played in mainstream Europe, and then you crossing to the Asian side of the Arabian Peninsula, going to Saudi Arabia. What necessitated that move? Was it because pure money, or you wanted to pick up another challenge?
Well, it's a bit of everything because yeah, I've played in Portugal, I've played in Switzerland, I've played in France, I've played in United States of America, I've played in Finland. So yeah, I've always said to myself that football is a short period in our life, so I have to enjoy myself. So whenever I have proposals, I sit down and then I go through them, and if I feel like I want to take on the challenge or the experience, I make that step. So yeah, it's true that I've been in Europe for almost 10 years, and then I had this chance to come here, so I decided to come. It's a bit of everything. I would say it's first of all, I'm getting older now. I'm 30 years now, so very soon, in some few years, I wouldn't be playing football anymore. So I would say financially, it also helped me in taking this decision to come here, but also it's just to experience something new from the European culture of football.
You've played for many clubs. Looking at the Saudi Arabian League, would you say it's an easy league? So far, you've played about 5 matches, scored 3 goals. Is it easier, or you think per your age, you will settle very well in Saudi?
No, I wouldn't say it's easy because you know the clubs in Saudi Arabia are very rich, so they attract good players. Um, Good players come here because they know they are going to earn good salaries. So before I came here, I knew nothing about Saudi Arabian football, but I can tell you for a fact that the level is very good compared to what I knew when I was in Europe. I think the league is very competitive, and it can be on the same level as some of the European leagues.
Hmm. So, how long do you anticipate your stay in Saudi Arabia?
I signed a short deal with my club because I wasn't too sure, but I wanted to experience football and life here. So I signed with my club until this summer, but then I already have some I've already have some clubs that are interested in my service from here, from the Emirates, from Kuwait as well, and also some few clubs back in Europe that wants me to come back. But at the moment, as I said, we don't know if we are going to continue the league or we're going to cancel. They're going to cancel the season. So I have to put my decision on hold, and then when the final announcement comes, I will be able to sit down with my agent, and then I'll decide if I will continue here or I'll move back to Europe. But for now, I can tell you for a fact that so far so good. I've enjoyed myself here, and everything has been good.
Do you have any Ghanaian player in your team hitting?
No, I'm here with Nigerian striker. Actually, we both played in the same under 17 World Cup, and he even won the Golden Ball. So he's the only African here with me, and I think there's a Senegal player as well.
Mm. But
But
Samuel Owusu
there are a few Ghanaians
plays.
also playing here.
Yes, Samuel also plays in Saudi Arabia. Have you played against him or have you met him? Have you spoken since you touched down in Saudi?
No, 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 no. I know there are a few Ghanaian players playing here, but I haven't played against none of them, and I haven't been in touch with any of them. As I said, I arrived here the end of January, and I was just settling. So yeah, I think that
The one he
if
mentioned.
we had played against each other, we would have met. But I haven't been in touch with any of them yet.
Let me take you back to Ghana. The first time I saw you play was for Gamba All Blacks at the Airwork Sports Stadium. It was a playoff game. I don't know if you remember that particular game.
Yeah, I still remember it like it was yesterday,
And it
and
was an amazing performance. What game? What club were you playing against in that playoff at the Airwork Sports Stadium?
it was Oko United. It was Oko
Yes.
United. Yeah, and I remember that game very well because our coach was Nana Jimai,
Mm,
and he was with Okwowu before coming to All Blacks,
mm.
and that game was everything to him. So it was a good feeling winning that game because also we qualified to the Premier League, and our president George Free had put in so much into the club, so it was a beautiful moment.
Beautiful moment. Do you still follow Ghana football, and what do you make of a club like All Blacks now in the Division One league? How do you feel about them?
Yeah, yeah, I still follow Ghana football very, very well. All Blacks, the club went down, but I think now the club is doing well, and I pray and I hope soon they will get back to the top flight where they belong.
I know you come from a very rich football family. All the family, your senior brother, the bankroller of Cheetah FC. It's a football family. I should describe it as such. But how did football start for you?
Well, as you said, I have six brothers, no, five brothers. We are six in all. So football football has been in the family since I know my brothers, every one of them was playing football. So as I was growing up, the only thing I loved was playing football, and I used to watch my senior brothers play amongst themselves. So when I was growing up, it was easy because I had only brothers and they were always playing football. So I was playing with them even when I was very small. I used to play with them, and they used to kick me every every now and then. But I don't know. I just love football, and everything was natural.
As a young footballer growing up, which players did you look up to for inspiration, and who inspired your playing career as a juvenile footballer?
Well, when I was very young, the player I looked up to was Abedi Pele because you know I'm a left footer, and I really like dribbling, and Abedi Pele was like the player every young kid in Ghana looked up to. But then now, as I was growing up, I became so much in love with Sule Ali Muntari and Michael Essien. I liked everything about these both players. So I think they inspired me, and I always looked up to them. And I can tell you for a fact that on to today, I admire so much these two players, Muntari and Essien. So I would say Abedi Pele, Muntari, and Essien were players that inspired me so much.
Let us look at your call up into the under 17 side and the competitions that you played with the under 17. Who was the coach there that gave you your first call up into the national team?
Well, I was playing with All Blacks. We qualified to the Premier League, and I had played three Premier League games. So we went to Tema to play against Real Sportif, and I think by then the under 17s were having their qualifiers. They had played against Guinea, and they were going to play against Cote d'Ivoire, but I think they needed some players also from the Premier
Mm.
Division. So actually, this that very year they wanted to use only players from the second division and the Division One. But then I think as they were going to play against Cote d'Ivoire, they wanted to get some other players that were playing the Premier League. So Bashir Hayford, if I will remember,
Mm-hmm.
came to watch our game in Tema. And after the game, George Freer told me that they wanted me to go to Pram Pram to join the under 17s. So I had to leave Swedro to go to Pram Pram, and then I think it was the same. It was around the same time that
Okay.
Muntari and Theophilus Anaba and
Mm.
Steven also came from Goldfield. So
Mm.
I think it was after this game against Real Sportive in Tema that I had the call up to the national under 17.
Mm. And since then, which competitions did you play with the under 17 side? And what are some of the laurels that you won with under 17?
Well, I was with the national under 17. We went to Cote d'Ivoire to play this qualified game against them, and then we played the return leg in Sunyani. And then from there, if I remember, we went to Togo for the Nations Cup, and then we became third in the tournament. Then we went to Korea for the World Cup. That was 2007. Yeah, I think in Korea.
Now the big one was the under 20. You were with the under 20 side that won the
Mm.
African Cup, right?
Mm.
Or you were not
Yeah,
part of
yeah, I
that
was
team?
with. Come again?
Were you part of the under 20 side that won the African Cup?
Yeah, I was with them in for the Nations Cup. I came from Portugal,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was with the team. But before we went for the tournament, few weeks before the tournament, I had an injury, so I had to return back to Portugal. And then the team went, and God being so good, they won the Nations Cup. And then the World Cup was played in Egypt.
Yeah.
That I didn't go with the team,
Mm.
and the team won the World Cup as well. And I think we've been the only African country to have won the Under 20 World Cup.
That's right. And you had an issue with Coach Silas Stete. After that particular issue, did you ever get the call up to any of the national team?
Yeah, after that issue that happened, I had the chance to come for the Black Stars. Uh, I don't remember which year, but I was called up for a World Cup qualify game, and in Accra.
Okay.
I remember.
Under which
I
coach?
think it was before, it was yeah, it was Coach Kwesi Appiah. It was
Coach
Coach
Kwesi
Kwesi
Appiah.
Appiah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
On hindsight, looking at what happened between you and Silas Tete, do you regret what happened? Looking back.
No, I wouldn't say I regret whatever happened. You know, whatever happened. That's how it was. So
Mm.
I wouldn't say I regret whatever happened.
Mm. And did that decision that you were excluded from that squad, did it affect your playing career as a footballer? The fact that Silas Tete dropped you, do you think that affected your playing career negatively?
No, I wouldn't say it affected my career because as I'm talking to you, I'm still playing football. Most of most of the players that went for that tournament were world champions, but most of them are still not. Most of them are not playing now.
Mm.
So I wouldn't say it affected my career.
Mm.
It was a great moment for the whole country and the players that were involved. To be a world champion is something that it's very good for your career and for your life. I wouldn't say it affected my career because some of the players are no more playing and I'm still playing.
Mm.
So it's part of life.
Okay.
You have good and you have bad. So it's part of life. Life goes on.
Mm. There have been several rumors about what happened between you and Silas Tete. We don't know the actual story. What really happened? What brought about the issue?
Trust me, I think it's been ages since
Mm.
whatever happened, and I wouldn't really like to go back to that because I spoke about it. It happened, and everything is has gone by. It's been I don't know how many years now, so I don't think it's something I would really want to talk about again.
Okay. But has he reached out to you? Have you reached out to him after the incident, or you've not spoken to each other again afterwards?
you know, I'm someone who didn't really like being in touch with my coaches because yeah, our coaches are like our parents. No, they are like our
Mm.
fathers. But it's not something that I would love to have a friendly relationship with my coach. I will always like to do my job on the pitch, and then make sure I help my team and make sure I do what my coach wants me to do on the pitch. So I don't have that relationship with Coach Salas. I'll be on the phone with every now and then, but I have maximum respect for him. Um, any day when I can be on the phone with him, I will be glad to be on the phone with him. I have respect for him. I have respect for every coach that has helped me or has ever taught me in my career. So I have no bad blood towards anybody, and so I don't think there's any problem if today I'm supposed to be on with him because yeah, as I said, things happen and that's how it was.
Are you still open for a Black Star call up, or you think the opportunity to play for the Black Stars is now over? You want to concentrate on your club career?
Well, in life, you can never say never, you know. You always thank God for life, and then you enjoy whatever you love. Football has been my life, and football has been everything to me. Football has been
During your
so
generation, we had a lot
I've
of
been
great players. You can talk of Samuel Inkum, can talk
I'm
of
enjoying I'm yeah, I'm enjoying myself now. So if the national team gives me a call up, I I would be glad to honor my country because I can tell you for a fact that a lot of people always send me message through my social media handles that they would love to see me in the national team. A lot of people do send messages, but then yeah, I'm playing football wherever I see myself. I would play, so I have no problem playing for the national team. So far as I'm still playing football, I'm hoping to play for the national team whenever the country feels like they need me.
during your generation, your playing time, we had the likes of Emmanuel Ajimambedu, Samuel Inkum. You guys dominated the Ghana Premier League scene. You dominated the African scene, and you had quite a successful career in Europe. When you look back and comparing it now, it is not the same. What accounted for the successes that you people chalked, even though you were local players, you were able to rise and compete with other international stars on every stage?
Well, it's a difficult one to explain because as I said, there are a lot of things that happens in football. We all wish to be at the top and play at the top. That's why we work each and every day for that. But then there are things that that comes along, and sometimes you cannot control everything. So as I said, we myself, Inkum, we've played in some of the top leagues in Europe. Somewhere along the line, we had some setbacks, but thank God, I'm still playing. He's still playing. He's doing well as well. So hopefully, we still have some years ahead of us to play. So we're working hard, and we're trying to do the best out of the rest of the years that we have to play.
But why is it that now the current generation, they are not able to break into these European teams in numbers like it was in your time? Because in your time we could count about as many players breaking into the foreign teams, but now it will just be one or two. Why?
Yeah, you are right. Our time, it was very difficult to have a club in Europe, because you had to play for the national team before a foreign club can um, can buy you from Ghana. So it was very, very difficult. You have to be very, very, very good to be able to secure a deal in Europe. But currently there are a lot of agents that goes back home to Ghana to take these young talents, because we have so many talents in Ghana. So I think most of these players, some of them don't even play in the Ghana Premier League, or they
Mm.
don't play football in Ghana, and they get the opportunities to join clubs in Europe, like in Sweden, Denmark, and whatsoever. So I think it's very good that now we have these agents coming to take the players when they are young to Europe, so that they can develop from the young age. But also, I feel like in our time, because it was very difficult to get the opportunity to come. Before you arrive in Europe, you are almost ready to play with the first team, because you've played a bit of the local league. And back then, I think football in Ghana was much more competitive compared to now. So I would say it also depends on how hardworking and focused the player is. If you are really focused and you work hard, you can play in the big clubs in Europe, when you don't even play in Ghana before coming. So it also depends on the player himself, I think.
Hmm. You've played for a lot of clubs in Europe. What's the biggest club in your estimation that you've played for?
Well, if you say the biggest,
Mm.
uh, I would say Benfica was my biggest, like the biggest club in Europe I've played for. I had the chance to play in the French League One.
Mm-hmm.
Even though my club was not a big club, I think it was a very high level league as well. And I think the Swiss league as well is a very competitive one. So um, I've 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 had fun in all the clubs I've played for, but I think Benfica is the biggest club I've played for in Europe.
And who are some of the big names that you've played with?
Well, in Benfica, I played with big names like Pablo Aima, Jose Antonio Reyes. I was there with Di Maria, David Luiz, David Suazo. There was my own brother and friend Freddie Adu was also with me. Yeah, I would say these are some of the few big name players I've been with.
Mm. So, looking at the impacts, which country do you feel that you really enjoy playing there? Would it still be Portugal?
Yeah, I enjoyed playing in Portugal. I enjoyed playing in the MLS in America as well. But I would say Switzerland was the country I really enjoyed most because my club I played for, Servette FC, was a traditional club, and from day one when I arrived, the fans and the players, we clicked, and I would say until now, Servette FC was the club I felt very, very, very happy at.
And then which one was your lowest point in your playing career? Which club was that?
I think that would be FC Sion because I came to Sion from France, and Sion were having a transfer issue, payment with my club from. So they had to go to FIFA, and he affected me very much because the club had to demote me to the reserves because they had a FIFA or a court issue with my former club. So I had to be with the reserve team for almost a year and a half. So I would say Sion was a very complicated time for me,
Mm.
and I can say that 1.5 years that the club kept me in the reserves
Mm-hmm.
also affected my career because afterwards it was very difficult for clubs to come in because they felt like um, I hadn't played a top flight game for a long time. So if you ask me which of the clubs that was my lower point in my career, I would say FC Sion.
Mm. Mm. Now let us look at the Black Stars. We now have a new coach, CK Akono. Have you spoken with him? Have you established contact? And what do you make of his appointment as the new coach of the Black Stars, taking over from the man who gave you your call up, Kwesi Appiah?
Um, yeah, I think he's someone who has done a great job with if I'll say the top three clubs in Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
Hasofo, Kotoko, Goldfields.
Yeah.
He has had impact in each of these clubs. So I think also, as he has been in the national team, he has captained the national team. He knows what it takes to handle this team. Um, his assistant is someone that I admire so much as well. So I think they are going to do a good job with the current squad that they have.
Do you see the Black Stars winning the AFCON? Hopefully next year, should it be
Oof.
played?
Well, football has changed a lot. Now we don't win games before playing. So you can't just say that you win the AFCON without putting in the work yet. But as a Ghanaian, I would love my country to win the Nations Cup again. We have a lot of good players, talented players. As I said, we have a new coach.
Mm.
The coach himself and the assistant are coaches that really know what they have to do, and they've proven to Ghanaians how good they are with some of our local clubs. So um, I see a bright future for our national team. Hopefully, Corona
Mm. That's great. Now let's
the
get
Black Stars is going to be at the level. It's going to be at the level that everybody wants it to be.
okay. Let's get a bit personal. Are you married?
Not yet, but hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. Great. Which Ghanaian
Yeah.
food do you miss most? Now that you are far away from Ghana.
Well, I would say wache,
Wache.
because it's one of my favorite food.
Mm.
Yeah.
And which song? Which your favorite artist in Ghana now?
Well, I like Shatta Wale. I like
You like
Stonebwoy.
Shatawale?
Uh, yeah, I like Shatta Wale. I like Stonebwoy. These two are my favorite. Like yeah, when it comes to, and I also like Kwesiata.
Kosiata. Okay. So if I am to play one song for you, which one would you request to your fans? You want to request a song to your fans? Yes. Which song? Eh?
As at now,
Yeah.
well, I'm in a fasting mood, so I don't listen to music for now.
Okay. You're
But
fasting. Yeah. Mhm.
maybe if I wasn't fasting, I would have requested a song for my fans. But yeah, I'm fasting now, so I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. So, what message do you have for our Muslim brothers and family? They are listening to you. What message do you have for them, your fans, your family? But let's start with our brothers and sisters who are fasting with you. What message do you have for them during this Ramadan period?
Yeah, all I have to say to them is may Allah accept their fasting, and then may He forgive each and every one of us and answer our prayers.
So, life after football, would you be a coach, a scout?
Um, well, for now, I have few years to play.
Mm.
I'm concentrating fully on I'm enjoying myself. But I think in my last year or the last 2 years of my playing career, I will make a decision on which of the roles I would like to pursue.
Ishmael Yartey, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much, and we continue to ask for Allah's guidance and blessings over your life and your career.
Thank you as well, and you are always welcome.